There's the blast from the past, my man. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, great to see you. We are live here. Excited to have you on the show, man. I was trying to think when the last time we actually chatted was. It's probably been a couple years, which is kind of crazy, and we both have a lot more gray in our hair since then.
I know the beards are getting things are getting dramatic. Um, I want to say it was like in Carmel at an investor event. I think it's at
Oh
least the
yeah,
last time I
you're
saw
right.
you.
That wasn't too long ago. Good point.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, man. Well, very excited to chat with you because I think we see Phantom just being an incredible product that has definitely captured more and more of, I think, both Josh and my volume over the last few months for sure, and are just very intrigued by the opportunity that I think, or the business opportunity that a wallet like Phantom has. And you guys have obviously been very aggressive at sort of running at some of those opportunities. So excited to dive in with you here. Um, VP of strategy, usually that's a title that goes to people where they don't know where to put somebody on the team. Is that a fair way to share about your role, or what are you doing over there at Phantom?
Yeah, when Phantom has done a series of really smart things, and I think one of those was acquiring Bitsky. And when they did that, there was just a lot of opportunity for impact. There was a lot of places that needed attention, and having been a founder over a few companies for the past 15 years, I think that just try to find a place like a title that generally made sense, but really kind of just trying to like kind of align what I'm doing with what I think is the most impactful thing to do at the company.
So what does strategy mean in your role? Is it like what categories are we expanding to? Is it growth focused? Like what is?
Yeah, I think it's certainly a lot about like which categories we're going to. Phantom had done a really good job of building a great foundation. We really captured lightning in a bottle with the product, in its first, like in its single product era of being a great wallet. And I think, one of the things that we were doing at Bitsky, I think was a little bit thinking of what the implications of the future of crypto could be and what that looks like and the infrastructure that's needed for that to exist. And so it was kind of like a natural fit to sort of look ahead a little bit on what's coming down the pipe, making sure that we're playing chess and that we're a few steps ahead, thinking from what we're actually building. Um, it's also sort of every now and then you go through these phases at a company where you need to sort of re-elevate your ambitions, and I think that it's always nice to have a lot of different input for that. But I think strategy generally helps us sort of align the ambitions with the opportunity, and so giving us comfort in taking big swings, probably a big part of it.
I'm curious how you're conceptualizing the big opportunity today. So obviously started with wallet. There's perps now, phantom cash. I assume
Mm-hmm.
prediction markets are coming if they're not already there. So like, how do you conceptualize the big opportunity that Phantom's going after?
I think that generally the first era of Phantom was like, let's make the best crypto wallet for the market. And I think they did a really good job of that. It was obviously really easy to use. It was a great bet on Solana.
Mm-hmm.
We love all the chains, but Solana often, turned out to be uh, quick and fast. And I think when you saw things like meme coin era take off, you know, we were really well positioned for that. And I think that you when you get into the subsequent eras of what you want to do, okay, we kind of won the wallet game. Like not to be an asshole about it, but it's pretty good. Like we've done a pretty good job with
You had
it.
to be an asshole about it, Donnie.
Just
You're the
saying,
guy
like
who's supposed to be an asshole about it here.
yeah. So, but then it's like, okay, what's next? And I think that we've been thinking a long time about, we've had this history of DeFi and all these different sort of like money Lego primitives and things that have been, in my opinion, like good experiments and good use cases of blockchain, but have never been sort of productized in a way that most people can take advantage of. And I think we recognize the opportunity with the adoption of stable coins to really drive. This idea of building a new consumer finance platform, but on crypto rails. And that's sort of, I guess that's how we think about like the broader ambition today.
So is this sort of the competitive set here being more like Robinhood and Coinbase than like MetaMask and other wallets? Is that the right way to think of it?
The Mad Men meme when they're in the elevator, like we don't think about MetaMask. Like it's very much yeah, we want to go after like the big companies. We want to go after I would say that, the consumer finance products that Robinhood's obviously sort of like the primary target in a lot of ways, but when you look, there's a lot of other companies that are adjacent. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the big opportunity.
I'm curious how you guys think about social, maybe broadly, because it started as a very kind of utility focused product. I think it still largely is, but you guys are running some experiments in the social realm. So I guess as you like project a few years forward, like does the product look more social or just continue kind of being very utility focused?
I think that there's a lot of signal in a lot of and they can be like taken into consideration to make better decisions when you're trading. I think social is something that we have a tremendous amount of people that use Phantom, and there is certainly trends to be followed. So the idea of like a peer-to-peer network to send money to each other and things like that makes a lot of sense. The idea of just seeing what other people are doing in aggregate, I think is extremely useful. I think it's still sort of it still hasn't been cracked in a really good way. I think Robinhood has mentioned trying to put a feed. It's something that we've experimented with a bit as well. God knows we've seen a tremendous amount of blockchain feeds products. And I think, the real hard thing with social is like nailing the context and triggering an intent. And it's at some point, but I think that we're still in the phase right now where like social is like a horizontal primitive that we want to put across our product. Makes a lot of sense to basically just increase signal on, different things. Like if you look right now, we haven't really mentioned this, but we've added live chat to tokens, and it's been pretty interesting. People are just having conversations in there, and for us, it's a very sort of experimental thing, and it does a really good job of driving engagement. And everything in there to date is extremely organic. Actually, most everything on Phantom is extremely organic.
The troll box. Let's go back. Take me back to the old school days. So big news yesterday was Farcaster acquiring Clanker, which sort of signals their desire to step into the asset issuance game and maybe the value there. I'm curious if asset issuance is on the roadmap for Phantom.
It isn't like a tier 1 priority right now. I think that it is an interesting construct that I think will be a thing, and I think will continue to grow and evolve. But I think for us, we're still kind of, I would say, maybe one abstraction below that, and still focusing on some primitives. Like, recently we introduced a new stablecoin, Cash. We introduced or announced the new sort of daily finance product inside of Phantom called Phantom Cash. And so for us, it's about migrating less of a total risk on experience, but providing sort of a surface area for more risk off experiences. And when we look at something like asset issuance, a lot of that, in my opinion, is downstream of having sort of a good like atomic unit to power all those things. And so Cash is probably our focus more so right now. But we can, I look at asset issuance. I look at, prediction markets, lending, all these different sort of like product lines that we can add. I think we just want to make sure we have the right foundation in place right now.
Do you see a potential world where there's a Phantom token at some point, or is that just not a path you guys want to go down?
It's nothing I've heard of. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I had to ask it.
No, you had to ask it. We have to ask it. I do think that I would classify myself as somebody who's maybe been less excited about stablecoins than others, and have recently switched after talking with a lot of people who've helped me sort of expand my mind. I just like getting into things early. I like the sort of ability to bring capital to founders. That's where my main interest in life is. Mm-hmm. And yet, I think we had Aaron on yesterday talking about just this huge sea change that north of $300 billion worth of stablecoins being on chain now. Obviously, you're just mentioning that cash is a big focus for yours. I'm wondering if you can help expand my mind a little bit about really what the unlock and opportunity is here. And I must say, it's an incredible ticker.
Yeah, I don't know. We just kind of went for it. The big thing for excuse me, the big thing that there's a couple opportunities in our product, and I think that you look at, first of all, the Genius Act passing, the sort of like blessing of the U.S. government to have stable coins is kind of like this. It's this sort of official bridge of crypto and traditional finance in a lot of ways. Like we can now start leveraging a stable as an atomic unit of the product in like monetary unit. We can start to build things that feel like normal, that feel like normal financial products. And that's something that's been kind of that link has been missing. There's always been this bifurcation of like the crypto world and like the TradFi world, or however fintech world, whatever you want to call it. And I think now we have the opportunity to really bridge those things. And I think that's where stablecoins get really, really exciting. It also allows us to provide those type of useful services that are very common in places like the United States, internationally, very quickly. And so there's a lot of interesting benefits that we see. That said, when we were looking to figure out like, hey, what stablecoin would we want to use? We didn't see one that was actually like did what we wanted. And so, when we work with Bridge to basically create cash, a big part of this is that we wanted this to be as valuable to us as it is to anyone else. Or to basically have, the ability for anyone to collect yield on this. So basically, if whatever we originate on our product, we get those rewards and we can do with them what we want. But if another product decides to originate or mint cash, they also get those rewards and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So
I think that was the thing that was not super clear in my first reading of the announcement there, that I think is very interesting. You sort of have like a platform approach here.
Jesse, we just wanted to burn it all down, man. Like let's just quickly get to 10 years from now. What does it look like? Everyone has a stable that hopefully is like, has liquidity, between all the other products, and everyone's able to collect their full reward. And so that was it. That was really it.
I'm out here tweeting yesterday. Every big brand is going to have their own money. It's just like we're aligned here, brother.
Yeah,
it's a very clear world to me.
Well, I think that the hope is that for anyone who thought that they wanted their own stablecoin, but maybe doesn't want to take on the risk or have the resources to do it, worry about liquidity, yada yada yada, that now they have an option. So we kind of look at cash as a bit of like a utility for any developer to use. And I think that the tide will rise for everyone as it continues to grow. We're quite excited about it. But you kind of asked about stablecoins. Just to go back to that, like another big component of this is that this, the stablecoin that we wanted to exist, we wanted it to have the ability to be accepted at as many merchants as possible. And so working with Bridge and Stripe, like cash will be accepted at any Stripe powered merchant. Like I don't know if you've ever done BD before, but the idea of like going down the path of like onboarding a bajillion merchants, it's really nice to just have that kind of in the sack already. And it really helps speak to this narrative of bridging these two worlds like really quickly.
We got to leave it there, man, because we are jam-packed today, but it was wonderful to catch up with you. And yeah, I think we got some new insights, at least on where your team's head's at as far as what's coming next. Clearly exceptional executors. And I think you guys have won over that market through doing the hardest thing, which is just being incredibly focused and simple and delivering on the basics. And I think you've earned the opportunity to go after bigger and bigger markets. So wish you guys all the best, and would love to check back in with you in a couple of months and see how everything's going.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys.
Peace, man.
See ya.